Howdy, y'all. It's Felicity 90 Degrees here, and today I'm going to talk to y'all about fear and grief and moving on. But I'm going to do it in my own way and hope that y'all understand. And then at the end of it, I'm going to play a song that I've been practicing on guitar to illustrate that you can do anything you put your mind to. And hopefully, as you listen, you'll understand why that's important. It's Hotel California by the Eagles. And if you don't want to hear it, that's totally understandable. Not everybody wants to sit there and take the time to listen to a beginner. Sometimes it can really hurt your ears. I ain't going to lie. But if you decide to listen to the end, it would be an honor. And I hope you enjoy it. Let me get, okay. So, I've been going through a lot this year. A lot of healing, a lot of blockages, frustration, and growth. I've wanted to help people my whole life. And I thought that meant I had to share parts of myself that I now realize aren't really anyone else's business. I thought that laying all my pain out for the world to see was the only honest way to make people feel less alone. I thought that to be perceived, to be helpful, meant that I couldn't have privacy. And because of that mentality, I didn't share my art. I didn't share my thoughts. I didn't create the things that I wanted to create out of this fear that if I wasn't saying everything going on in my life, if I wasn't saying everything about my past, then I was lying to you, as in like people I don't even know, or you as in the internet as a concept, instead of just being, you know? I thought the only way to be authentic was to share all of the parts of yourself. I thought that's what honesty was. And this didn't just apply to social media or YouTube. It applied to my entire life. In every relationship I've ever had, I've had this warped mentality. And year after year, I thought I'd learned the lesson not to trust people, not to share with people, that being kind was just going to get you hurt. And over and over and over again, when I would get hurt, I would isolate myself. But here's what I didn't realize. No one, absolutely no one, has the right to know everything about you. And everyone has the ability to determine for themselves if they like you and want you to be in your life. I said it again. This is the second time I have refilmed this part, and every single time my dyslexic ass reads it as you to be in your life. Okay, so what I mean is everyone has the ability to determine whether or not they want you in their life. Okay. And as someone who has thought that for a very long time, that empathy meant sharing everything you went through so that the other person could see that you understood them. As that person, I can tell you the idea that you have the responsibility to be everybody's personal savior and friend is not only a lie and a sham, but it is a self-centered fallacy built on the shaky foundations of insecurities and attachment issues. For a very long time, all I've wanted is to be loved, to have a community that accepts me, loves me, and builds me up. But I wasn't willing to love myself, to give myself the space to heal. I wasn't willing to put in the work to do things that mattered to me, because all I cared about was this idea of failing and what failure was. I was so afraid to lose anything, everything, and everyone possible that I wasn't living. And I've been getting the Tower card in my readings for over a month now, wondering when it was going to happen. And when I came to these conclusions, I realized, holy shit, this is it. Anyway, I'm going to continue so you understand. I just wanted to add that little tidbit in. Um, every time I would try to make friends, I would lose them. And I know that that's a part of growing up and growing a lot, but I mean literally everyone, every single one of them. Last year, the last friend that I had in my life was my partner, because I had legitimately pushed everybody else away, and then I tried to push him away too. It was the same thing with certain goals and opportunities. I would get them and I would lose them, or I wouldn't even give them the chance to blossom at all because I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even plant the seed. But recently, with these realizations that I was talking about, I realized that you can't receive what you're not ready for. I mean, really, I've just been sitting around complaining about how much things aren't working and wondering why life sucks so much, instead of seeing the opportunities to grow. And when I finally started to see that these things that were happening to me or and around me weren't happening to me, that they were happening for me, that they were an opportunity to grow, that is when everything started to change. Like, for real, it makes sense to me that I've been having the Tower moment so many times this month, because it's been happening over and over again. Because when you allow yourself the space to grow, when you give yourself the opportunity to be flexible, even when you feel like you have nothing, you have so much. For so long, all I wanted, all I wanted was to be free. Like, free of trauma, free of PTSD, free of hate, free of burden, free of hardship. I was consumed by all of this fear and memories of the past, and this obsession that thoughts and past experiences defined who I was and what my character was. But what your character is your choice. You get to choose every single day. Is this the person I want to be? Not only is this the person I want to be, but would this be the choice my ideal self would make? If the answer is no, you shouldn't be doing it. Hear me again, okay? Because this was a big changer for me. If you are doing something and your ideal self would not do that thing, you shouldn't do it. What do I mean by this? I'm talking about the character thing. I'm not just talking about like literal things. Because sometimes our ideal self is not humanly possible. I'm not the first person to say sometimes I really do be having a God complex. What I'm talking about is a character, a personal character, and a code of what it means to be an honorable human. To get back to my script, I can't recall a point in my life where I've ever not wanted more. Now, is that the curse of being unsatisfied or the blessing of ambition? I don't know. Which is it? Well, after I thought about this, I think the answer is both. Let me give an example. When you're a kid on the playground at recess, and you and this other kid want to get on the seesaw. Now, if the kid on the other side of the seesaw is too big, you're up in the air, your feet can't touch the ground, you get a little scared, you start wriggling around. But if you're too small, you won't go anywhere. But psh, girl, I meant if they're too small, you won't get anywhere. But if the kid on the other side is about your size, you can both have fun. And honestly, I think that's what life is. The only issue is that we can't see the size of our goals or the size of our dreams. We just assume that they are either too small and stupid or too big and unachievable. When you're a kid and you were on that seesaw and the other kid was too big or too small, what did you do? Or what did the small kid do, right? Well, the small kid would ask the another small kid on the playground for help. Let me try to put it like this, right? The big kid is a metaphor for life. And the small kid that's trying to find the other small kid to help balance the seesaw, that's you or me or anybody. So when you need to ask yourself, like, in what ways can you help yourself balance what is going on in your life? Do you need support? Do you need a schedule? What is it that you need that you haven't tried, or something that you can try, that you are aware you can try? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, if you're struggling to answer this question, maybe you're in the same spot that I'm in, where you don't even know what balance looks like in the first place. And just like that kid on the playground who goes to find the other kid, you have to figure out what balance is for you. Because how many times did you, as a child, underestimate or overestimate the weight of the other kid you went to go get help you, and then it didn't work? Y'all still on the ground. Or worse, the big kid just kept freaking throwing the both of you up in the air, right? Because I don't know what to do, and I am not sure of myself a lot of the time. But is what I do know is do what I can. Oh, what I do is I do what I can when I can. And I force myself to try even when I'm afraid to fail. Is this shit easy? A hell no. Sometimes I fail at trying. But if you don't try, then you can't fail. And if you can't fail, then you can't learn. And if you're not learning, you won't grow. An example is my relationship with the guitar and why that's important to this conversation. I have been trying to play the guitar my entire life. My grandfather, when he was still alive, tried to teach me the guitar basically the entire time he was alive. Even when he got and again, because I don't know if I've mentioned this on the channel. I don't know if he had Alzheimer's or dementia, but even when he had that, he still tried to teach me. And I miss him a lot. And when he died, I was about in the 10th grade and I was doing a guitar class, but I still couldn't learn. All I could do was think about how much I missed him. But it wasn't until I stopped blaming myself, it wasn't until I decided to stop thinking about how hard it was and to choose to change my perspective. And so instead of looking at it as being sad that I never got to play it with him, I decided to look at it as playing it in honor of him. And because of this, I've come quite a long way. Because of this, I may not practice every single day. Hell no. I try. But I can play this song now. Is it perfect? No, but I can play it. So, if you will, I'd be honored if you'd let me share it with you. So, here we go. All right, here we go. 2 things to keep in mind. I ain't got a capo, so I had to use a pencil. At number 2, I don't know if my smart scroll is going to work, so I might have to pause several times. Anyway, here we go. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of eucalyptus rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering line. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. Then she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and she showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. let me just do that part again. Let me just do that part again. Because this is part of my favorite part. So I'm a verse 2. I love verse 2. It is my favorite. So just let me try that again. Her mind is Tiffany twisted. She got the Mercedes Benz. She got a lot of pretty, pretty boys that she calls friends. How they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. So I called up the captain. Please bring me my wine, he said. We haven't had that spirit here since 1969. And still those voices were calling from far away. Wake you up in the middle of the night just to hear them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Living it up at the Hotel Cali, bitch ass. Living it up at the Hotel California. What a nice surprise. Bring your alibis. Mirrors on the ceiling. Pink champagne on ice, and she said, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. And in the master's chamber we gathered for the feast. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. Last thing I remember, I was headed for the door. Had to take the passage back to the place to the place I was. Oh shit. Hold on. Yo. Had to take the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the night man. We are all programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. I really hope y'all heard that because I do not have to want to I do not want to have to feel that again. I'm very proud of myself. And that's the thing. You can't feel pride in yourself if you don't try and get better. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye now.